Welcome to the Sewing Whisperer. In this quick and beginner-friendly video, you'll learn how to sew 3 essential top stitch finishes for seams: edge stitching, top stitching, and a combo of both. These foundational techniques not only add strength but also give your garments a polished, professional look. Whether you're just getting started with your sewing machine or looking to boost your confidence with core sewing skills, this video is a great place to begin. Hi and welcome. If you're just starting your sewing journey, you're in the right place. I've spent over 30 years in the fashion industry teaching people to sew, and every one of them has been able to sew with confidence. In this new series, I'll walk you through the essential seams you need to know step by step. Let's get started. I'm demonstrating these seams on an industrial machine, but don't worry, everything I show can be sewn on any domestic sewing machine because it's the technique that matters most, not the machine. Are you sewing on a domestic or industrial machine? I'd love to know what you're using. Let's get started with the edge stitch seam. This technique adds strength and decorative finish and helps keep the seam allowance neatly pressed in one direction. You'll often see edge stitching on waistbands of trousers, blouse cuffs, collar edges, and more. It's a subtle detail that gives garments a clean, professional look. For this demonstration, I'm using a fabric sample that measures 20 centimeters or 8 inches by 8 centimeters or 3 inches. You can download the free pattern in the video description below if you'd like to sew along. To start, I've prepared a closed seam by sewing 2 pieces of fabric right sides together using a 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I've then overlocked the seam together and pressed it so the wrong side of the overlocking is hidden underneath. Now I'm going to sew the edge stitching 2 millimeters or a 1/16 of an inch from the seam. On my machine, the seam is aligned with the inside edge of the foot, but your machine might look a little different. Take a moment to identify a reference point on your own presser foot. Some have a line or notch to guide you. As you sew, keep your eye on that guide, not the needle, to help you sew a straight parallel edge stitch. Don't forget to back tack at the beginning and end so the stitches don't unravel. And that's all there is to it. That's what we call edge stitching. Next up is top stitching. This technique is similar to edge stitching, but it's placed slightly further from the seam line, offering a bolder, more defined finish. Top stitching is not only decorative, but it also adds strength and structure to your seams. You'll often find it on yoke lines, collar edges, and other areas where both style and durability matter. Top stitching is sewn 6 millimeters or a 1/4 of an inch from the seam line and gives a more pronounced decorative finish than edge stitching. To begin, prepare a standard closed seam just like in the previous sample, 2 pieces of fabric sewn right sides together, then overlocked and pressed. Place the fabric under your presser foot with the seam 6 millimeters or a 1/4 of an inch from the needle. On my machine, that's slightly wider than the width of the foot. Find the 6 millimeter guide on your presser foot. Some machines have it marked. If yours doesn't, you can add your own marking with a fine tip permanent pen. As you sew, keep your eye on that guide to ensure the stitching stays parallel to the seam. No need to watch the needle, your focus should stay on the guide point. And just like before, back tack at the beginning and end to secure the stitching. That's all there is to it. That's what we call top stitching. Twin needle or double stitching combines both edge stitching and top stitching into one seam finish. It's decorative, but it's also the strongest of the 3 techniques, commonly found on workwear and garments that need extra durability. Start by preparing a closed seam just like in the previous samples. Then sew your first edge stitch close to the seam line. Next, place the fabric under the foot again. This time with the edge stitching, not the seam itself, positioned 6 millimeters or a 1/4 of an inch from the needle. Use the same guide on your presser foot that you used in the top stitching sample. Keep your eye on the guide as you sew to keep the stitching lines straight and parallel. Back tacking at the beginning and end to secure your stitching, and that's what we call double stitching. Are there any seam techniques that you'd like to see included in this playlist? Or is there a sewing challenge you'd like some help with? Please drop your ideas in the comments below. Well done, you've just taken a big step by learning the difference between edge stitching top stitching and double or twin stitching. You'll see these techniques on countless garments. In the next video, we'll build on this with understitching, a technique that helps facings sit beautifully and stay in place. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you're following along with the playlist, I'll see you there.